Common mistakes in moral reasoning. Freedom in the context of morality.
Hi, today we are going to discuss about the common mistakes in moral reasoning. Moral reasoning applies critical analysis to specific events to determine what is right or wrong and what people ought to do in a particular situation.
According to an Austrian philosopher, Victor Gracian, there were some common mistakes we are prone to commit or fail to recognize when faced with moral arguments.
First, the failure to recognize the vagueness of moral concepts. Lying is a false statement made with an intent to deceive. Not stating a clearly defined statement does not mean it is morally right. For example, your classmate was having a hard time constructing a sentence. So she asked you, "Hey, is my grammar correct?" You did not say anything and remained silent. That silence may result to a misunderstanding.
Second is the failure to recognize the value-laden nature of many concepts which appear to be value-free. If value-laden is influenced by personal opinions and value-free are purely objective, we must remember to examine whether the disagreements are based on facts or could be resolved. For example, the student and the teacher are having a discussion if being a prostitute is wrong. The teacher stated that a prostitute is someone who engages in sexual activity for payment. The student answered and said, being a prostitute is still a job as long as they do it in their own will. Value-laden is proposing the acceptance of a particular set of values. The statement of a girl is a value-laden because it may influence by her personal opinions.
Next, the unethical use of emotive terms. Emotionally loaded gives a judgment based on how a person behaves without knowing its nature. For example, your teacher asks you to group yourselves into 4, and you only need to find one member. Hey, let's ask one of them to join our group. Let us look for different members. I don't want to pick between those two. Why? I heard from my neighbors that they are both crazy. Therefore, by using an emotive term crazy, she convinced the two to agree with her.
Fourth is hasty generalization. It attempts to make a universal statement using all based only on a few cases observed. It jumps into a conclusion without sufficient evidence. For example, you have a class in English and one of your classmates raised a question. Miss, what is the Filipino term of outlining? I am sorry, but I'm not sure. I will get back to you after I've done my research. Then you hear someone said, she's a teacher and she should know that. We generalize things without knowing the different responsibilities we cannot fulfill. Generalization occurs because of the assumption that teachers must know everything. The equal claim that the generalization provided may have been hastily assumed.
Next, faulty causal reasoning, assuming that the cause for something is caused by pointless reasons, because of his poor work. My teacher always giving me a low grade. I learned from her Facebook account that she is a Capricorn and I think it is because I'm Aries. Instead of blaming it to his poor work, he blamed it to the reason he recently learned.
Sixth is rationalization. It is also called as defense mechanism. It is the process of offering reasons to cover up an already arrived at a decision meant to hide one's true negative motive to accept an acceptable course of action. For example, you walk by the seaside and saw people tossing their trash everywhere. Since everybody is doing it, you think it's okay to do it as well. The statement is used as defense mechanism in order to clear our conscience.
Next, the dismissal of moral position on the basis of their origin, also known as genetic fallacy. One is trying to dismiss the view of another based solely on the basis of its origin. For example, a group of students are afraid of their groupmate that is Black American. Hey, how about we build a mini wall of China for our project? Okay, we'll call you later. You can leave. Will you really call him later? Nah, I don't want his opinions and I'm afraid to be grouped with black people. Instead of listening to the suggestion of their groupmate, they neglected it because they are afraid and because of the stereotyping that black people have many gangs.